Very warm greetings to all my dear students. I welcome you all in second video on New Economic Policy 1991. New economic policy consisted of economic reforms where main aim was to create a more competitive environment in the economy with removal of entry barriers and growth of the firms. New economic policy can be referred as a set of rules in order to eliminate the situation of crisis from Indian economy introduced in India, and the credit of introducing economic reforms goes to Prime Minister Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao along with the Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. New economic policies measures can be classified as there were two measures taken in order to reform economy, and basic principles of reforming economy was seen in the new economic policy introduced in 1991. The set of policies introduced by the government is placed under two different groups, popularly known as measures of new economic policy. The first one is stabilization measures. These are the short-term measures to correct balance of payments and bring inflation under control. Stabilization measures also refers to short-term policies measures which aim at correcting the deficit in balance of payment and controlling the inflation. Second measure was structural reforms, reforming the whole structure of policy making, whole structure of functioning. These are long-term measures aimed at improving the efficiency of the economy by increasing international competitiveness and removing restrictions. So, stabilization measures, the short-term measures were taken in order to control the economic crisis immediately in short term, and structural reforms that require a long-term policy that was adopted under structural reforms. Under structural reforms, government has adopted three different policies. The policies were liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Now let us understand the concept of liberalization. Liberalization was introduced to put an end to various restrictions, the barriers, and open up various sectors of the economy. Liberalization includes the following measures. First, deregulation of industrial sectors. As we know that most of the industries were under the government, that is public sector. All policies related decisions, all production related decisions, what to produce, who will produce, and how it will be produced, all were taken by the government. So deregulation of industrial sector was one of the important measures adopted under liberalization. It includes removal of licensing system. Small scale industries goods were de-reserved, allowing market determination of prices. Means licensing system was supposed to abolished from various productions units, various productions items. Small scale industries goods were de-reserved, allowing market determination of prices. Next one is financial sector reform. Role of RBI changed from regulator to facilitator. Now RBI is helping banks to grow. RBI is deciding the rules and regulations, and the work is being done by RBI as a facilitator. Foreign institutional investments allowed to invest in Indian market. Earlier it was not there. Establishment of private sector banks were the most important decisions taken under financial sector reforms under liberalization. Tax reforms, we have recently seen the tax reforms adopted by India. It is the largest tax reform adopted by India under the visionary leadership of Sri Narendra Modi. But earlier, the tax reforms was adopted. Tax reforms was having reduction in direct and indirect taxes. Let us discuss the tax. Tax is compulsory contribution which everybody needs to contribute to the government. There are two types of taxes. One is direct taxes, another is indirect taxes. Direct taxes, it is directly person pays tax from own pocket. It is paid directly to the government. Indirect, person collects tax from government, pays to government. Person collect tax from government and it is directly paid by the government. Foreign exchange reserve, foreign exchange reforms, devaluation of rupees to encourage export and discourage imports. Flexible exchange rate system was introduced. Trade and investment policies. The third element of new economic policy is trade and investment policy reform. Removal of quota restrictions on imports and exports, reduction in tariffs rates, removal of licensing system for imports, removal of export duties. So all were the elements of new economic policy under liberalization, that is financial reforms. Now let us understand through different examples the direct tax. Direct tax is income tax, and indirect tax, earlier it was VAT, service tax, excise, custom, etc. Now only one tax is there, that is GST. So it is one of the important tax reforms that we have adopted in recent times, but earlier tax reforms was done in order to increase the income of our government. Now we will see the privatization. Privatization was another important measures taken in order to improve the conditions of our country. Privatization means reducing the ownership of management of a government-owned enterprises. It also implies removal of strict control over the private sector and giving them freedom to take necessary decisions. With new economic policy, the following changes took place in private sector. First, the government companies got converted into private companies by change of ownership or by sale of public sector companies. Another important decisions taken under privatizations was disinvestment. Disinvestment means privatization of public sector units by selling off parts of the equity of public sector units to the public. This helped in improving the financial discipline and led to modernization. Second, private capital and managerial capabilities were used to improve public sector units' performance. Privatization helped in the inflow of foreign direct investment. Greater autonomy was given to public sector units for taking managerial decisions, for example, Navratnas and Mini Ratnas. Recently, CBSE and the class 12th examination held in 2020, examples of Navratnas and Mini Ratnas were asked. So here I am giving you the list of, it is displayed over here. Just note down all the mini names of Navratnas and Mini Ratnas. It is important to know because they have contributed a lot in the development and growth of our country. Another reforms after privatization was globalization. We have already gone through the concept of globalization in class 10th, but still globalization should be learnt in more elaborated way in class 12th. So globalization is the outcome of the policies of liberalization and privatization, which are aimed at transforming the world towards greater interdependence and integration. Globalization is a complex phenomenon which attempts to establish links in such a way that the happenings in India can be influenced by the events or the happenings in other countries. It is turning whole world into borderless. Means now the world has become a global village. Why it is termed as global village? The same question I have asked when you people were then in class 10th, and I have explained it also. Because in village, the interaction among the different people, interaction among different factors are much more than in cities. So globalization, due to globalization, the world has become a global village. Outsourcing is considered to be the most important outcome of globalization process. We have already seen various examples of outsourcing in class 10th, where the publisher of an editorial, publisher of a magazine is sitting at UAE or sitting at USA. They have shared their text in India, and it is getting printed in India, and again it will be marketed through some other countries. So in this way the work has been given to outsiders. Outcome of globalization process, under which a company hires regular services from external sources like other countries rather than doing it in the home countries. The BPO sector in our country is providing outsourcing services to most of the countries of the world. Most multinational companies are outsourcing their services to India because these can be availed at a cheaper cost. For example, service like BPO, record keeping, teaching, etc. Now, the person can be sitting over here, can take classes anywhere in the world. That is the outcome of globalization, and it is also one of the example of outsourcing. Outsourcing is possible due to modern telecommunication links like internet, audio-visual data, etc. India is the most preferred destination for global outsourcing because of low wages and availability of skilled laborers. So what are the different arguments given in the favor of Indian economic reforms? We must admit the fact that without adopting these changes, it was not possible for our country to have a good reform, to have a good pace of development that India has observed since 1991. So, what were the achievement of Indian economic reforms? The GDP increased from 5.6 in 1980 to 1991 to 8.2% in 2007 and 12. The service sector grew to 10.6% in 2014-15. The FDI and foreign institutional investment have increased from about 100 million USD in 1991 to 73.5 billion USD in 2014-15. At present, India is the one of the largest foreign exchange reserve holder in the world. This point needs to be noted that at present, India is one of the largest foreign exchange reserve holder in the world. Inflation level has reduced to 4.9% in 2015-16. The balance of payment deficit has reduced to 152 million US dollar in 2016-17. There were another achievement that we have got through 1991 economic policy. As we have already discussed, the rate of economic growth has increased, the rate of foreign exchange reserve increased, and now India is adopting to a new economic policy, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. So it was, or it is, one of the part of economic reforms also, and looking towards our own resources also. There are some argument against the Indian reforms also, that is, we can call it demerits of new economic policy 1991. The first argument against the Indian economic reforms is insufficient employment opportunities besides the growth in GDP. The development is there, the growth is there, but still jobless growth we can say over a period of time. Reduction in investment in the agricultural sector causing slow growth in this sector. Reduction in investment because of the focus on different other sectors like service sectors and secondary sector, that is industrial sector. Reduction in investment in the agriculture sector causing slow growth in this sector. Removal of fertilizers subsidies adversely affected the cost of productions and the marginal farmers. Increase in international competition faced by Indian producers, due to which it has become bit difficult for India and any other country of the world to avoid China nowadays, because most of the, in fact 80% toy industries is in control of China. So it's a very important information that I am passing to you, that 80% of toy industries is in control of China, and Indian manufacturers need to work very hard in order to make their own place in terms of toys productions in this country. Decrease in the demand of industrial products due to availability of cheaper imports. Decrease in the demand of industrial product due to availability of cheaper products. We are importing different industrial product at cheaper rate from different countries, and due to this there is a less demand of industrial product in our country of Indian producers. India does not have access to developed countries market because of high non-tariff barriers. There is a non-tariff barriers in the access of developed countries. Loss of the government sector due to low sale value under disinvestment, and due to globalization, the recent merger. The questions was also there. To comment on the merger of MTNL and BSNL. This question was asked for 3 marks in the board examination held in 2020. So, loss of the government sectors, why government has merged MTNL and BSNL, the student was supposed to comment on. So, this questions has been asked in the board examination this year. Loss of the government sector due to low sale value under disinvestment, but still the conditions after merger also, the condition is not getting improved. Due to globalizations, there has been widened economic disparities among nations. That was all about economic reforms part 2. Thank you and have a nice day. Stay home, stay healthy.